Bless it.
Bless, man. Love.
Bless, man.
Thanks for doing this, man. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Jason, Lyricz, alright? So you're an artist.
Yes, sir.
What kind of music we talking?
Dancehall, reggae, rap.
Okay.
That sort of level.
Okay. How long have you been doing that for?
Been doing it for a while, but only like about a year to start taking it serious. Investing in it properly.
Okay. Alright, well, usually the way that I kind of start these things is I kind of start family.
Okay.
How you was raised, where you was raised, that kind of thing. So, yeah, maybe take it from there. Where were you? You born here? You born?
Yeah, I was born in Jamaica.
Okay.
Spanish Town.
Alright.
Came here at the age of 9.
Okay.
To reside with my dad. Yeah. But, in Jamaica, I grew up with mom and grandma.
Okay.
And all of that. Yeah.
Okay. So what was life like? I know you was 9, but when you came here,
yeah,
but what was life like over? So
life over Jamaica at that time, the early late 80s, I would say. It was nice. I just remember in my childhood doing a lot of creating. You know, we was always building stuff with our hands.
Okay.
You get me? It wasn't how life is now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I appreciate that era and everything that I was able to grasp and learn, especially from my grandma, because she was a wise lady.
Okay. So what was some of the best lessons that you learned? Either that she told you, or you just learned from experience from being around her.
Just being around her, and obviously she knew about plants and herbs.
Okay.
You get me? But I should have taken more ears to her at that time. But I just thought, you know, she just said, go pick that piece of bush there. So I just used to, my grandma, man, you get me?
That's the story of most young people. You don't use it at the time.
But now I'm aware of it and seeing the knowledge that she was actually passing down.
Yeah.
So yeah, man.
Okay. So alright. So you raised with granny and
grandma
and mom,
cousin them, auntie.
Yeah. And then was there a particular reason you came here, or is it just?
Yeah, I think to obviously probably experience a different life.
Okay.
And obviously, I've got siblings and other extended family over here on my dad's side. So I think he wanted to, you know.
So when you come to England now, you're with your dad. What was that like? Because I'm presuming, how long was your dad here before you came here?
Probably about my age. But he was always back and forth on holiday.
Okay, so you still had a relationship with him?
Yeah. Okay. He happened to grow up in the same area that my mom's from and I'm from, so Spanish Town.
Okay.
Yeah, man. Yeah, one link.
Okay. So, alright, so you come here, you're 9 years old. Must be a big culture shock.
Yeah,
what part, where did you move to did you move to London or?
Yeah, I moved to straight London. I was living in Lewisham, Brockley at the time.
Okay.
Them sides there.
Okay. So how different? It must have been different. How did you manage? Obviously, everyone thinks it's just the weather, but there must be some more differences that you noticed.
Yeah,
even as a 9-year-old.
There was a lot of difference in terms of the school system, and you get me, just interacting with everybody that you got me was a different way. You get me? And so but you learn and adapt. You get me? So that was the thing at the time.
All right. So. Okay, so you're 9. As you're growing, maybe you go secondary school.
Yeah.
And did you enjoy school?
Yeah, I did. I enjoyed school. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got in a few trouble here and there. You get
me? As we all do.
We do. But you get me. Yeah. I enjoyed it. Yeah.
Did you know what you wanted to do when you come out of school, or was it?
Alright.
Yeah.
Life kind of went a bit of a left turn just before I even get to finish school.
Okay.
Because, like I said, was getting a bit of little trouble here and there, and obviously prior from leaving Jamaica and my mum and all of that, I felt like as a child or as a young man, I felt like I missed my mum at the time, innit? So I always kind of wanted to touch back on the island. You get me? So maybe psychologically why I was, you know, acting up and ray. So yeah, so that ended up happening. So yeah, my dad sent me back, spent about 2 years in Jamaica.
Okay. And what age was that from?
That was probably about 13, 14. Yeah, probably about 14.
And then you come back when you were 16?
Come back, yeah.
So did you finish your school here or did you finish school there?
There, I went back there and
okay.
Went through the school system
okay.
for the time that I was out there.
Okay. So then you come back.
And then I came
and
back.
Now you're super Jamaican Daft.
Yeah.
Because those are proper formative years right there.
I went and reconnect and came back, you get me? Yeah. So went straight into college and done a few studies and that, and that was it, and learned a trade.
Okay, what trade was that?
I was doing painting and decorating at the time.
Yeah.
With John Lang, I don't know if you remember John
Lang. I remember. Yeah.
Plastering as well.
Okay. So, alright, so now you might as well say you're a man now. Let's say 17, 18, teenager going into 20. What's your life looking like then?
Well, them time there, another twist and turn, you get me, because you get involved and you get me, branching off into other areas.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Any areas you can talk about? Any areas that maybe have been resolved and ain't gonna...
Yeah, areas like, you get into a few crimes here and there, and and that was it. I went jail. Spent a little time behind jail.
When you say little time, what's a little time?
About a year and a half, 16 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
How was that?
Sure, innit? You just got through the system, you realize it's another system you're up against, and you get me, it was a new experience obviously, but I adapted and I learned, and you get me.
How old was
I was about 17 at the time.
Okay, so we're talking Feltham, we're talking one of these other places?
Feltham.
Okay. You do your whole time there, or did you visit any other?
Yeah, I went, I think it was Rochester.
Okay.
Yeah, Rochester in Kent. Yeah.
Okay. I know the young offenders thing is an amped environment. There's a whole load of testosterone in them places. I think Big Man Joe is a bit more
calm,
mellow and calm. So I know young offenders is a bit more kind of...
I experienced both sides still. So it was a bit active, but I was a man that, you get me, I don't really get caught up with certain crowd or energy, you get me? So
okay. So you've always kind of been a meditative person, would you say?
Yeah, I just been me, you get me? I just never get influenced or caught up in certain things.
Okay. When you finish jail, let's say for example, is that after that, are you now focused on music? Do you have a direction in your life that you want to go?
No, I don't even like focus on music like that, because obviously there was other things in life going on. Yeah, so music just came at a later date, my full focus, probably in 2017.
Okay. Yeah. So in that period then, between you coming out of jail and 2017, what's going on at that time?
Well, another twist and turn, you get me? What happened now, obviously, as a Jamaican at the time, went through the prison system, immigration came about.
While you were in prison? While you were in prison or afterwards?
Not even while I was in prison, after 2 years later.
That's mad.
Yeah, that's mad. 2 years later, they freed me, everything, man was good as far as I know. I had my papers. So 2 years later, them come true, it was you should give us a reason why you should stay in the country. So I'm like, bro, at the time now, I think I had my first my daughter. Yeah.
Right.
And I was thinking, well, family life, innit? I've been here all my life, my family, my dad, and from then, just went pear-shaped. From 2008, I would say, to about 2018, I finally managed to beat the case and finalize everything.
Right. So in that time, did they ever dip you?
Nah. Well,
but that was the threat.
They was not successful in their action, but they tried to. They obviously I was going through from 2008 to 2018, you can just imagine the amount of courts, tribunals that I went through.
You never had to touch on them detention centres or nothing like that?
I had to touch a detention centre in 2017.
See, I know a couple of men that have done a little time in detention centre.
It was mad. It was a mad experience. Spent 5 months up in there.
5 months, yeah?
5 months, you get me? So...
Thinking that at any moment they can just come and just grab you and stick you on the plane.
Man was prepared, always on point, but I still had in my head that like I had certain rights that I knew that they was violating, and it's just to get that across to the right legal team or whatever.
So where did that kind of what's the word, confidence or that knowledge come from? Where you know like some people will just accept that the system is all powerful and all knowing.
No, I'm not one of them.
Some people are like that, who are like, okay, even though I'm at a disadvantage, let's say, there is still a level of knowledge and knowledge of self and knowledge of who you are as a person to know that there's a way to fight. Where do you think that comes from?
That came from obviously the back and forth with lawyers, giving them your money, the amount of money, man, you can imagine the amount of expenses throughout that time.
Because there's no legal aid in it when it comes to...
legal aid was scrapped.
Yeah, I think with any people's immigration cases, they don't accept there's no legal aid in it.
So you have to just stand on your own 2 feet to just try pay lawyer fees. That weren't working because some of these lawyers, they're uneducated on nationality, and that is where my rights lies, on the nationality. But they was just dealing with me as a immigrant, asylum.
So explain the difference to me then, in that sense. You say nationality
is where most West Indians, Caribbeans, Jamaicans, whatever, even Ghana, the other 52 countries of the Commonwealth, most of them will fall under the British Nationality Act. You understand? But obviously immigration create their policies along the way and try to decept that. So so obviously I got caught up in that, and that's how they was able to discriminate against me and label me under a foreign nationality instead of a British nationality. So so I had to then seek that sort of knowledge independently and started writing and and reading and all of that. So I just started putting my case together, understanding their language, the code, how they speak, how they write. I just started studying all of that, and then I just started deflecting all of that back to them, like you get me, and speaking back the same language, and you get me.
So are you representing yourself?
I represented myself all the way. Like when I realized that these lawyers, when I'm telling them about certain rights, they were like, but how could you be British and you was born in Jamaica? Well, I'm like, but Jamaica is a British territory. It's an extension of the United Kingdom. You understand? So I had to then go that deep into it, and obviously even back to 1962, Independence Act, and obviously that constitution still remained the same, and it doesn't take away our inheritance rights and stuff like that. So it was just peak getting that established and making them see from my side. So it was a fight, man.
And it sounds like a as I said, salute to that, because I feel like that's something that takes a special kind of person.
Propel it, because even though despite that I knew my rights, and I've been telling the court system from 2012, and they obviously weren't hearing that, because they're like saying their policy, one of their discriminative policies was I wasn't born in a wedlock, I wasn't born in marriage, so therefore I cannot be British citizen. So then I'm like, so what's the difference between a child that was born in a wedlock and wasn't? That's discrimination. You know what I'm saying? So so my argument was there. But then the Windrush, I must say, they them coming into play kind of helped, because obviously they knew that on a mass scale of the injustice that was happening across the United Kingdom. So the Windrush, you know, maybe it's God's works, but they came into play at the right time, and I was just able to just, you know what, I'm going this route now, and then
Okay. So 2017 that was resolved. Or 2018.
2018 it was fully resolved, because obviously knowing them again, and obviously the deception behind the whole thing, they were still trying to subject me to a visa.
Okay.
Yeah, like indefinite visa or leave to remain visa. I'm like, nah, I want my nationality right.
Yeah.
You get me? It's not that I'm begging British citizen or nothing, but that's what it is, innit?
Yeah.
So let it be, innit? Like straight.
And so then that was pattern.
That was pattern. You get me? So yeah, by the grace of God, you get me. Just take self-knowledge and just understanding their language, speak their language, and
Okay.
Can get through them system.
Let's talk about artistry now.
Yes, sir.
So music. Why music?
Music. It gave me a self-expression. I actually just generally love music from childhood anyway, from growing up in Jamaica and like, you know, being around certain DJs or certain sound system, we'll call it, you get me? So yeah, music was just always therapy for me anyway. And when I write and create, it gives me a sense of freedom and stimulate the mind, especially throughout all those trials and tribulations I was going through at the time. So even though I weren't actively recording and putting out tracks out there professionally, like I was still writing, and it still gave me that mental therapy.
So okay, so now you've been, say, for a year, maybe 2 years of focusing, or a year, you said, a year of focusing on it. What would you say is your what would you say is the formula that you've used to bring yourself from, I don't know, writing in just a book to, I know that I've seen at least a couple of videos I've seen you do, and I've seen you on the social media, and I've seen that you're doing performances and all these kinds of things. So how did you get from, you know, writing lyrics in the detention centre on whatever book you was using to there?
Alright, basically, I write on any piece of paper I can find. If I can write on a piece of tissue, I write on that. You get me? So I've just always maintained that, and you know, like I just always tell myself that I'm not gonna get deported, and I'm gonna get to do music, and you get me, just experience and do what I love. You get me? I just feel like Babylon was just trying to pull a illusion over man's eyes, and that was it. Yeah, so that was just, it was just one of my life challenge which I don't look at it as a bad thing or a negative, but like, you get me, it helped me to learn wiser and see the system for what it really is. Yeah, so yeah, that just complement the music.
Yeah. And what steps have you taken since, in the sense of your music career? I'm saying, like, what, obviously I'm not an artist, innit? So I'm thinking, what do you do? So alright, you've got your lyrics. How do you make connections with people to even get on a show? Or how do you buck up on a man that's got a studio? Or like, if you want to record, you know what I mean, wonders of modern technology, maybe you can do it yourself. I don't know. But
alright, basically,
what was your process?
My process was just utilizing the resources and people around me.
Okay.
And like, if I got a friend that got a studio or whatever the case might be, or make a beat, then you get me, I try and engage with that person, and you get me, we just start a process of friendship and see what we can do in terms of making the music. So that was always my approach. Yeah. Always utilizing the resources I have around me.
Alright. Are you a Rasta?
Yes, sir.
Alright. Is that something that you came to be, or is that something that you have ever been?
No,
if you know the question.
It's something that I always know. It wasn't, I would say, we use a term, covenant. Yeah. Like, I didn't fully take on the covenant, you see.
Yeah.
So, obviously, my later years and finding myself, obviously, I always knew myself, but I mean, like, in deeper within, then, you get me? I just thought, you know what? I'm embracing the right. I'm embracing the truth. And that's it. That's where it lies.
Okay. So, how did, so you've managed to, so you say you knew about Rastafarianism, let's say, and it is something that, especially if you're in Jamaica, something that is kind of everywhere.
I was like, obviously the time that I went back, I was around a lot of Ras and smoking weed and chalice and I was always around the culture and the way, the liberty.
Yeah, because I know when I was brought up, my mum was a Ras. So I heard a lot of stories about, especially in Jamaica, the persecution that befalls people that are Ras. So when let's say I don't know, say family, let's say for example, I don't know whether your family, I'm presuming your family is not all Ras.
No.
Right, so there must have been some challenges, not must have been, maybe not frame it like that. Were there any challenges that came from you deciding to become Ras from anybody?
No, because my dad, I always know my dad to be a Ras, so
okay, so your dad's Ras?
Yeah, my dad's Ras. Yeah,
okay.
So,
okay.
Never experienced that.
Alright. So have you ever heard any stories like that? Did your dad ever tell you about maybe when he was back home?
I think when he first came to England in terms of getting jobs and all of that, I think you get me, it was kind of hard for him still. Yeah.
Okay. Alright. So the Rasta side of things, is that an important element of your music?
Yeah, because obviously that's my identity. That's what I'm representing. You get me? So yeah, definitely have to embrace my culture and roots. Innit? So,
okay. Is culture something that you want to put at the forefront of your music? When I say culture, I mean Rasta. Is that something that you lead with when it comes to your music, or is that just something that is for you, and music is something that you express the different elements of your personality?
All right. I just put it all in one. You get me? So like I don't separate in no sense. Like I am what I am. Yeah. And if I do music and however I'm breaking down the expression of the music, like I will always incorporate who I am in it. So that will forever, you know what I mean, be. Yeah. So yeah, that's it. Okay. Don't separate nothing.
You say earlier that you said your first child. So you have more than one, I assume?
Yeah, 3 kids. Yeah.
Boys, girls?
Yeah, 1 girl, 2 boys.
All right. So you've got both boys, male and female children, right? How is it different? This maybe sound like a simple question. Is it different, the role of a father in the raising of a boy child and a girl child? And if so, which I'm assuming it is, how does your role change?
All right, the role change is where obviously the girls are a lot more soft, sensitive. So like I will be a lot more, attentive to my daughter. Obviously my boys, they're a bit younger, but I still give them that independency to, do your thing, climb up, drop, right. But like I've always, there's definitely two different experiences, definitely. But they're one and the same really, but it's definitely two. So you're gonna have different approach in it for the two.
All right. So the reason why I'm asking is just because I feel like, do you feel that the softness that we attribute to the girl child is something that we help to create by the way that we interact with them, or do you feel like it's something that they innately have, which causes us to then deal with them as such?
Because it's within their nature, innit? So it's like you have to succumb to the sensitivity, or you know, they're probably more emotional as well. So
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What's next as far as music concerned?
Well, just fully working at the minute, trying to obviously get it to a level where, you know, I can obviously reap some sort of benefits from. Still trying to execute a book on the subject of my experience, which I'm gonna call it 10 years training. So that's in the process as well. Just hope in the near future, you know, can put it all out there.
Okay, so that's interesting. I'm writing a book as well. So
what's the name of that?
It's called Reasons.
Wow.
But so the process of so are you already started writing the book?
I started it from when I was in my time in detention center. So whilst I was there, I was trying to get individual stories, like what was your experience, why are you here? So like I've taken a few guys' stories down, and that I think like there was a particular guy, I can't remember his name, but he can write poetry. He was dope. I've got a couple of his poems that I'm obviously hoping to incorporate in the book.
Okay, so is the book gonna be
his work
come on. So are you is it gonna be like a novel? Is it gonna be like a what sort of, when you say you're writing a book, what kind of book are we talking there?
I want it to like just a short experience, and obviously I want to open your minds into certain areas of the laws, and you get me, what I had to go through to apply to, you know what I mean?
So you say it's more something that's going to help people that's in a similar situation
that's
to you?
Similar, because it will forever be in it, like, you get me?
Okay.
So,
all right. And remind me again, it's called 10 years training?
10 years training,
All right. And 10 years time, where do you see yourself in 10 years time?
Why?
Where would you like to see yourself? But I prefer to frame it as, where do you see yourself?
Well, I just hope to establish my record label.
Okay.
Minted Entertainment.
All right.
Put that in the pipeline as well. And just continue creating and progressing and having good health, good life. That's what I'm saying.
All right.
So we don't really like a plan for the future, we just take each day as it comes. So I'm one of them persons.